You ever felt that no matter what you achieve in life, who loves you, how much you fix yourself, that deep down something just still feels missing? What if the reason that you feel incomplete isn't because you're broken, but because you've been lied to? Society constantly tells you, subconsciously, subliminally, that you need more money, more love, more success to be whole. But that is the trap. So let's get right into this. External validation does not create lasting wholeness simply because it's a temporary fix. It's built on shifting sands, what other people think about you, standards that society wants you to live up to, or material achievements that can change or disappear in a split second, leaving you back at square one. True wholeness comes when you have an unshakable inner connection to your worth within yourself, which no amount of praise, success, or love from outside of yourself can replicate. When you rely on anything outside of yourself for validation, you give away your power, which is conditioning yourself to believe that you're only as valuable as your last accomplishment or someone else's opinion and approval. But your higher soul self doesn't operate on scarcity. They already know their completeness inherently, deep down. The moment that you stop searching for something out there and you turn inward within yourself through self awareness, self love, spiritual alignment, you break that cycle of lack and you step into your unshakable truth. You never actually were broken to begin with. What's really sad about this is from a very young age, you're taught in school and by society that you gain your worth from jobs or relationships, social media, substances, or spiritual achievements. And it is ever so subtle, but it gets in very deep at a deep subconscious level to the point that you may not even know why you feel not enough. The system is designed to keep you craving for more. As an example, I have even seen this in healing arts practitioners. They're constantly searching for the next certification. They're chasing the next program, the next book, the next method of doing this or that that is going to just solve everything for them. That maybe after this one, I'll be fixed. But it's kind of like a horse chasing a carrot. They're searching for something outside that is a complete inside job. So, this constant chase is designed to keep you stuck because it's an endless loop, it's an illusion, and it always moves farther and farther away the closer you get, the closer you think you're getting. Every time you tell yourself, I'll be happy when this or that happens. Like, oh, I'll be happy once I find my soulmate. I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll be happy when I heal this last wound. What's actually happening is you're reinforcing that subconscious belief that wholeness exists as something outside of you. This creates a dependency because then you're always waiting for the next thing to grant you the permission to feel whole and complete, completely not recognizing that that fulfillment is the foundation, not the finish line. The brain is actually wired to seek, not to arrive. So you become more addicted to the chasing itself. And that is how you get burnt out, exhausted, pulled out of your center. You never really truly do get to feel satisfied when you're stuck in that cycle. And the truth of who you really are keeps eluding you. And the truth is, you could have stopped searching yesterday. The only way out of this is to interrupt that cycle by claiming your worth at a deep subconscious level, totally and unconditionally. That's the only way to break that cycle. Addiction, codependency, self sabotaging your successes is that those are all symptoms of this deeper disconnect because it creates this dependency, this temporary illusion that that disconnect or gap is being filled, but it's fleeting. The absolute truth is you are not lacking. You already have within you the whole world. You are fully whole and complete. You are already good enough, and your worth is out of this world, priceless. Your true soul's essence is already fully complete. Now, to prove this to yourself, that you already are complete soul essence, when you look at neuroscience, hypnotherapy, ancient wisdom, you begin to see some themes in all of these things. The first one I want to look at with you is spiritual truths. So take a look at Buddhism, for example, and the concept of non duality. Separation is an illusion. And what I mean by this is looking at this through the lens of Buddhist cosmology, which says you are not a self that needs fixing, but you are pure awareness itself, experiencing itself as a human being. Separation is the illusion, and wholeness is the default. Everything just is. You are pure awareness experiencing itself as human. So remember that. Sometimes when I'm outside on a walk, I listen to this book by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it's a translation of the Tao Te Ching. One of the things that he interprets from the Tao is that wholeness is broken only when you try to name it. So that means that the minute you try to define something, that's when you've lost the plot. That's when you're in this illusion of separation. Even Christian mystics say, the kingdom of God is within you. That means that your true divine essence is already there. You already are. It's waiting for you to realize it, but you never had to earn it. You can look beyond the spirituality, and even neuroscience can prove this. I used to be a part of this neuroplasticity group with colleagues. And one of the things that neuroscience teaches is that you can literally rewire your brain out of this lack consciousness. Hypnosis, meditation, all of these things prove that humans learn these lack programs. And just as you learned these lack programs, you can unlearn these. So the idea of being broken is only but a perception. Have you ever heard of DMN, default mode network? This is a brain network that activates during self referential thought. So the thought of what's wrong with me, something's wrong. And it has actually been proven in a lot of peer reviewed studies in Canada, in the US, that meditation actually quiets this default mode network. So the more you can consistently meditate and quiet your mind, you're also quieting this network that is always trying to right the wrong, so to speak. And a lot of this is just good old conditioning. Like if you were growing up and you were in an environment where your caregivers or your parents or society put this idea in your mind that you had to earn your worth, then your neurons are going to mirror that. But it's still a learned habit, not the end all be all of the absolute truth of your reality. Hypnotherapy is a very effective way to rewire the script of lack. 94 to 98% of all behavior is subconscious. When you are in hypnosis, your conscious thinking mind, analytical mind is out of the way, that is always trying to make sense of everything or figure things out or make something good or bad or right or wrong. That's out of the way. So you can actually go in and rewire that at a cellular level. Also in hypnotherapy, what we do is inner child work or parts work because a lot of times these programs come from a much earlier time in your life where you lost essential aspects of who you are. through traumatic times, whether that was a huge trauma or just somebody making fun of you at school. Those things run very deep. So in hypnotherapy, you can integrate those true pieces of who you are back in, and the healing comes through the integrating of that, not because you need to be fixed. Somatic or body based approaches to healing are also very effective for this because trauma lives in the body as tension or resistance. So when you're working directly with the body, you are able to access that safe and calm part of yourself that is underneath of everything and always has been. And you're able to release that tension because you have these realizations that you were safe all along and that you are already whole inside of you. So, do you see how wholeness is not something that you achieve? It's something to stop obscuring every spiritual tradition, brain scan, and therapy model all points to the same truth. You are a wave, or you're an ocean pretending to be a wave. You are the ocean pretending to be a wave. The work is not to become whole, it's to remember that and then embody what never left and who you really are and have been all along. The core lie of the illusion of separateness is that you believe you're separate from love, from God, source, from your own power. That is the root of suffering. The illusion that wholeness is somewhere out there rather than right in here. This illusion comes from a few things. First, being childhood conditioning. You were taught at some point along the way your worth was conditional. Love equals good grades, approval equals perfect behavior. This wired your brain to associate belonging with performance, not being. Then there's the trauma of the nervous system, a fight flight response from past wounds makes you feel unsafe inside. So then you seek safety externally in people, substances, achievements. So, for example, if you were abandoned as a child, then when you become an adult, you might think, if I'm alone, I don't exist. Then there's simply illusion called Maya in Buddhism, the illusion of separateness. You forgot who you really are. Have you ever had it happen where you were stressed so much about something, and then maybe you have an interaction with somebody or something happens that cuts through that illusion, and then you see how the fear and the worry were just an illusion. And you're like, wow, why was I so worried about that? So that's why it's so good to align yourself daily with meditation or inner reflection, gratitude, taking care of yourself. All of these things keep you rooted in the actual truth, so it's less easy to get pulled off into that illusion. And I want to ask you a question. Who would you be if you knew that you were already whole? So, how do you know when you are looking outside of yourself? You know you're seeking validation externally when your sense of worth rises and falls with others' opinions or your achievements or your relationship status. You might obsess over likes on social media. You might replay conversations in your head to gauge if you were enough. Or you might just feel empty after reaching a goal because that high of that fades fast. Or you chase spiritual certifications, romantic partners, substances, thinking this time this is really going to fill the void. This is going to do it. But then you do that only to feel that same hunger later. You apologize excessively. People please or mold yourself to fit in. Fearing rejection is going to just confirm this deepest fear of I'm incomplete by myself. Even self improvement becomes a trap. If it's rooted in, I'll finally be worthy when. That common thread of this is you're treating yourself like a project that needs to be fixed, not this beautiful divine being and presence to be honored and loved. The moment you feel I need this or that to be okay inside, you've handed your power away. True freedom begins when you realize nothing outside of you is ever going to answer that longing that only your presence can satisfy. This can manifest as people pleasing, overworking, addiction, codependency, needing constant proof of your value. So, how do you reclaim your wholeness, the moment you've been waiting for? I'm going to give you right now a 4 step process for healing this once and for all. Step one, awareness. Notice where you seek validation in your life. Ask, what do I think is going to complete me? Get really real with yourself. Step two, inner connection. This is keeping up on your meditation practice, doing self hypnosis, journaling, and ask yourself that question, who would I be if I already felt whole? Step three, reprogramming. Hypnotherapy or energy work is a great way to release the belief that you need anything external. And working with someone will really help you to find your blind spots because it's so easy to delude yourself with this. But that reprogramming needs to happen at a cellular level in the body. Step four, embodiment. Live from wholeness first. Success, love, and freedom, and money, and all of that flow from here. So I hope that all of this was very helpful for you today. And I hope you're feeling centered and wholeness by now. If you need help with this, I would love to be your guide. I have some super good deals on packages on my website. So that way, you and I can both plan to meet on a regular basis and get to the bottom of this and get you where you've always known you could be. Healing is so possible. I believe in you. You can do this. So much love. And don't forget to comment on the video. I'd love to hear what your takeaways were. And like the video if you want, subscribe if you want, share with a friend who you see this happening with and they really want to heal. And we'll talk soon. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.